7:45. Welcome back to your Tuesday morning. The discussion around accountability at the BC Legislature continues. Former Attorney General here in BC, Wally Oppal, joining us. Also Special Advisor to Speaker Darryl Plecas. Thanks for making time. You saw this report before all of us essentially did. What shocked you the most out of all of the things that were documented?
Well, the allegations, as you have seen them, are pretty brazen, and they're pretty flagrant. Keep in mind, they're only allegations at this time, and I don't want to say anything that would compromise a fair trial for the two men.
Of course.
But I got involved in it when the Speaker, who I've known for many years as a respected criminologist, asked me to get involved because he was taking the heat for this. He carefully documented all of the things that were going on with all the receipts and the trips, and he carefully got this investigation going by going to the RCMP. The RCMP obviously bought into what he had to say, and the Attorney General's Ministry appointed two special prosecutors. And so when that went public that the two men were being suspended, all of a sudden the Speaker was being attacked for investigating things that he shouldn't have been investigating. And so that's how I got involved in it. And I'd say, hey, look, there's a criminal investigation going on. We need to focus on the right things here. And why are we attacking the person who's the messenger here? A well-respected criminologist who carefully conducted an investigation with his assistant and took the material to the police, who then went on to conduct an investigation. But inevitably, political issues get involved in these things. They're not going to make a comment about those. But the fact is that Darryl Plecas, I thought, did the honorable thing, the right thing, by doing what he did. But he became the focal point of the attack by the media.
Well, he's had some ideas, and most recently he's talked about the idea of removing the non-disclosure agreements that were put upon legislature staff that were dismissed for speaking up so they could get severance. And you talk about the criminal investigation. How do you walk the line to provide information to the public without jeopardizing the validity of the investigation?
That's an excellent question, because that's what we were concerned with from day one. I knew what Darryl Plecas had told me. He told me all of the things that are in that report. But do we go public with it? He was being attacked. As he said to me, my integrity is being questioned here. People out there think I'm some kind of a buffoon, and I've got all this material. So do we go public with that? My initial reaction was no, because there's a police investigation going on. We don't want to compromise the police investigation. But at the end of the day, we all decided that the public has a right to know, and maybe we're too fragile when it comes to the public's right to know. And I think the right decision obviously was made by letting the public know what the allegations are.
In your years as MLA and Attorney General here in BC, did you ever see any warning signs of questionable expenses at the Ledge?
No. To the contrary, I thought that the people that I worked with and served with were people who were very vigilant. And we always took the position that if you're going to use public funds for something, you better be careful that you're doing the right thing, because the public has a right to know. The system needs to be transparent if a democracy is going to work. And I think we have, in many ways, the best democratic system in the world. We don't have any systemic corruption, but when there are things that go awry, like here, then the public has a right to know.
Alan Mullen, also Special Advisor to Speaker Darryl Plecas, was on the show yesterday. He talked about the importance of workplace culture, forensic audit taking place. From a legal standpoint, how long could this entire process go out until there is a resolution?
Well, I don't know. I think that, you know, judging from what gone on in the past, I don't see, I can see this going on for a better part of a year, because the RCMP have been handed this dossier of documents and exhibits, and they're going to have to go over them. They're going to do their own forensic audits on those, and then they're going to have to go to two men who are the subject matter of the investigation, in fairness, to ask for their side of it. So that's what our system's about. It's about hearing both sides of any controversial issue.
As a wrap-up point to all of this, and I think it's a learning lesson and an important one as we look forward for BC of how we create trust and transparency with the general public, if there was one thing you could change with rules and policy as they exist in the BC Legislature today, what would that be?
Well, I think we need to be more open. But I think, as I said a moment ago, the system generally works well. What's taken place here appears to be an aberration. Having said that, I don't think it hurts for every MLA and every member of Parliament to be always aware that we're dealing with public funds, and we live in an era of accountability where the public wants answers. That's what our democratic system is all about, and we need to keep that in mind.
Well, we're going to follow how this one unfolds. Appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights.
Always
today.
good to be with you.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll take a break. Watch this up on the other